This tutorial is for 4th grade, Module 5, Lesson 30. In this lesson, we're going to add mixed numerals and fractions, and we're going to keep in mind the fraction combinations that create one whole. In the first section, we're to solve these addition problems and compose whole numbers if needed. For example, the first problem is 3 1/4 plus 1/4. I'm only going to combine my fractions, and then I'll add that to the whole number. So 1/4 and 1/4 is 2/4. Add that to 3, and I get 3 2/4. There's nothing else I need to do with this answer. Going across, I have 7 3/4 plus 1/4. So again, I'll combine my fractions, and I'll get 4/4, and then add in the whole number. Now here, 4/4 is the same as one whole. So I'm actually going to turn that 4/4 into one whole. That means now I have 7 plus 1, which is 8. And that's what we mean by composing the whole number. I take that whole number fraction and actually turn it into a whole number and then combine it with the original whole number. In question C, I have 3/8 plus 5 2/8. I'll combine the fractions, and I get a total of 5 5/8. Nothing else I need to do with that answer. In problem D, I have 1/8 plus 6 7/8. I'll combine my fractions, and I get a total of 6 8/8. And again, since my numerator and denominator are the same, that means that that is a whole number. So 6 8/8 is the same as 6 plus 1 whole, or a total of 7 wholes. In the next section, we need to fill in the blanks to make true number sentences. Question A says 4 7/8 plus something will give me 5 wholes. Well, if I look at the 7/8, I'm 1/8 away from making a complete whole. So that must be the number I'm adding, because the 7/8 and the 1/8 together would make one whole. If I combine that with my 4, I get 5 wholes altogether. We'll use that same logic for question B. Here I have 7 2/5, and I'm adding a fraction to that to get 8 wholes altogether. Well, if I'm at 2/5, it's going to take 3 more fifths to make a whole. 2/5 plus 3/5 is one whole. Add that to the 7, and I get 8 wholes. In question C, I have 2 1/6. I'm going to add a fraction to get to 3 wholes. I'm working with a 6, so I need 6 6 altogether. I have 1/6. I'm going to add 5/6 to the 1/6. That will give me one whole. Add the one whole to the 2, and that shows me the 3 wholes as my answer. And one more question. I have 11 1/12. I'm going to add a number to that to get 12 wholes altogether. This time I'm working with 12ths, so it takes 12 to make a whole. I only have 1. That means I need 11 more 12ths to make one whole. I combine that one whole with the 11, and I get 12 wholes as my final answer. In the next section, I'm going to add mixed numerals and fractions, but I'm going to use number bonds to break apart my fraction so I can create those one whole situations and then add in the extra amount. So in the first problem, we have 2 3/4 plus 2/4. We've broken down 2/4 into 1/4 and 1/4. That allows me to combine my 1/4 and my 3/4 to get one whole. Now I just add my whole numbers. 2 and 1 equals 3 wholes, but I still have to include my extra 1/4. So my final answer is 3 1/4. In question B, I'm adding 3 3/5 to 3/5. I need 2 more fifths to make a whole if I already have 3/5. So I'm going to use the number bond and break this 3/5 into 2/5 and 1/5. That allows me to make a whole by combining 3/5 and 2/5. that equals 1 whole. Now add my whole numbers. I have 3 and 1 make 4, and I have to include the leftover fraction. So 3 3/5 plus 3/5 equals 4 1/5. The next section says to solve any way, but express our answers as mixed numbers. I'm going to continue to use that number bond format that we just used. So we have 4 2/3, and we're adding 2 more thirds. Since they're thirds, I know it takes 3/3 to make 1 whole. So I'm going to use the number bond to decompose 2/3 into 1/3 and 1/3. That allows me to combine my 2/3 and my 1/3 to make 1 whole. Now I add my whole numbers. I have 4 and 1, and that would be 5 wholes. Add in my extra fraction of 1/3. So 4 2/3 plus 2/3 equals 5 1/3. And one more question. I have 3 3/5, and I'm adding 4/5. Since I'm working with fifths, I know I only need 2 more fifths to make a whole. So I'll decompose 4/5 into 2/5 and 2/5. I'll combine my 3/5 and my 2/5 to make 1 whole. I'll add my whole numbers. 3 and 1 equal 4, and include the leftover fraction. 3 3/5 plus 4/5 equals 4 2/5.